What's up? I'm the Drink Pro. I got Nate and Trevor. We're going to do the Wild Turkey Masters Keep 17 versus the Bottled and Bond. Hey everybody, Drink Pro here. Thanks so much for joining me. This is Kyle. We've got Nate. We've got Trevor. We got some great people who've been sharing their wonderful whiskey, joining the Patreon, being wonderful supporters of the channel. I hope you all will continue to follow their great lead. We've got a really wonderful review for you today. We've actually got something that has been highly requested by the fans. I've got the Wild Turkey 17-year Bottled and Bond versus the Wild Turkey 17-year. Now, these are both Wild Turkey Masters Keep products. I believe the 17 was actually one of the first ones released. The 17-year Bottled and Bond was also the most recent release. So it's kind of an old versus new, but it's also kind of a proof challenge because these are both 17-year-old products. So the real question is, what proof does a Wild Turkey 17-year make sense at? Do you prefer it at 100 proof, like a Bottled and Bond, or do you prefer it a little bit lower? Now, we've got the proof on this. I believe the 17 is at 43.4%. It's pretty significantly lower in proof.
Masters keeps how much?
100, because it's Bottled and Bond.
Bottled and Bond.
So normally I do a little, nice pour above the, microphone shot, but today, because I've got a couple of different pours to make, I'm gonna do some little light pours. I'm not gonna let Nate can help me. We'll pour at the same time.
Trade.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
I mean, am I supposed to finish it?
No.
All right.
You're supposed to make them even.
Oh, Jesus.
How hard is that? How hard is that? Is this just... Do you even know what you're doing? Is this the Bottled and Bond?
Is that a serious question? Yeah.
You're the pro.
Hey, everyone.
Why did I let him come back here? Trevor brought both of these, did he not?
I'm the Drink Pro.
Trevor brought both of these, so give him the rest, for crying out loud. So, normally I do some sort of preamble, I have some sort of good information for you.
Nothing.
This is just a shit show. This is just what I can muster right now. These two clowns have been joining me, and we've been drinking a lot of really, really good whiskey. Tell you what, if you really want to try something delicious, do an E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof versus a George T. Stagg. You'll learn something about yourself. So let's dig right in. Let's start, I believe, with the Wild Turkey 17. Now, the Wild Turkey 17 is at 43.4%. So it's notably lower than the Wild Turkey 17 Bottled and Bond. These are all Masters Keep, but there's too many words in Wild Turkey Masters Keep Bottled and Bond 17 year. Ugh. Does not roll off the tongue.
Are we supposed to drink it or just smell?
I mean, I usually go in for a nose first, but it's personal preference. You drink when you want to, figure out what makes the most sense for you.
Doesn't smell high proof, that's for sure.
No, you can definitely tell it's gentle. Mm-hmm. I get some floral notes. I get a lot of sweet candy notes. It's really pretty. I mean, I really like what's happening in this. In the video that I did with Nate before, we had all of the Masters Keep lined up, excepting the 17 Bottled and Bond.
Yeah.
This was one of my favorites. Nate had it a little bit lower in the lineup, but not notably lower. It's still a very good whiskey.
Well, so I remember being impressed with it drinking higher than its proof point.
Absolutely, yeah. This drinks above its weight class.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
maybe
very
some honey
floral.
in there.
Yes, very, very floral. There's some honey notes.
It almost reminds me somewhat on the nose of like an unpeated Scotch.
Yeah.
And that floral honey.
Because it's so floral.
Yeah.
Scotch.
Tell us how you feel about Scotch, Trevor.
Not the fan. It's definitely, I smelled them both.
Yeah.
Definitely you get more wood, definitely on the next one.
Yeah.
Like this one's very light.
Yeah, if you go back and forth, if you smell the Bottled and Bond, I get a lot more woodiness, but I also get more caramel. So it's very floral. On the 17-year, I get floral and candy and fruit. But the 17-year Bottled and Bond, once you up that proof...
Although the Bottled and Bond doesn't necessarily smell a lot hotter, though.
No, it doesn't smell a lot hotter.
Right.
I agree.
It's just more wood.
Yeah, it's woodier. It's a little bit richer notes. Mm-hmm. I get maybe a dark fruit. There's less of a candied sweetness on the Bottled and Bond. It's more of a rich, earthy, deep fruit sweetness.
I'm ready to taste it. We done babbling or what?
Let's do it, man. Let's taste it. Let's try the 17 first. Cheers.
New guy over here.
Oh, that's so floral. It's unbelievable.
Very is. Yep.
Man, that's like wildflowers on the palate and on the nose. Usually I notice a difference between the palate and the nose with a lot of these products, but one of the things I kind of like about the Wild Turkey lineup is I really feel like I consistently get similar notes on the palate and the nose. I value getting those notes consistent because I like to know what to expect. Whenever I smell something that's delicious and candied and sweet, and then all I taste is like harsh wood notes, I'm really disappointed. That does not happen with Wild Turkey.
No, you still that for me at least, the honey still comes through.
Yeah.
The sweetness of that.
You know what it is? I get like a honeysuckle note.
Mhm.
It's the sweet and flower. It's the honey and floral.
Yeah.
Reminds me of honeysuckle.
Yep, very sweet on the palate.
I mean, maybe a little bit of pepper, a little bit of baking spice, like a ginger to go along with that floral at the end, but it's not, it's really floral dominant.
I get a little bit of almost like a botanical bitter, like an herbal bitter in the finish.
Which would be ginger.
Yeah, well, see, I usually think of ginger as a sweeter note.
That's spicy, floral, still some sweet, a little bit of tart.
Mm.
Like finishing a sushi.
There's definitely that herbal component, though.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
you definitely can tell there's this like wonderful, beautiful flower note, then it's sweet sugars, and then you get this finish of herbs. Very little wood, almost no wood on the
Correct.
17, not bottled in bond.
Still
80s
drinks higher than 86 proof.
Oh, it still drinks a little higher
just
than
going to mention
86.
that. That definitely does.
Yeah.
Like,
So let's
Which
go
is
ahead.
a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will prefer that. The fact that it is
Absolutely.
86, but it doesn't drink like an 86. That's usually preferable. All right, so let's jump into the bottled and bond here. Now, already on the nose, I'll say I don't like the nose as much. To me, it's less complex. You definitely know that the 17-year bottled and bond is a higher proof on the nose. You get that woodiness, you get a little bit more alcohol, you get some of the sweetness, but it's a richer, deeper, darker sweetness.
The floor almost turns into like vanilla extract.
Yes.
There might be still a little bit of the honeysuckle note in there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of it. Yeah, it's there.
me personally, I like the nose on this better.
Do you?
More oaky.
You like that
Yeah,
oakiness?
that's,
Yeah, I mean,
There's definitely wood, wet
Yep.
wood.
on the initial bottled and bond review I did, I definitely felt like there was a distinct oakiness that was pervasive throughout.
Yeah.
Like it was in the nose, it was in the palate, and if you like a deep, rich, oaky whiskey, you're gonna gravitate towards the 17th bottled and bond. It's cool to see how much of a difference proof makes because they're both 17-year, wild turkey whiskeys. Now there are other regulations involved in the bottled and bond process, but I think the biggest difference for the average consumer, and especially for people who aren't really attempting to nitpick very narrow, specific nuances, which is like 99% of people.
Right.
You're going to find the major differences are going to be proof based.
What I would imagine, because they're both wild turkey, that the process, like they're probably making both of these in a similar process, right? I know bottled and bond has different regulations, but they're probably not cutting any corners for the 17, right? They're not going to make any. I mean, because it's wild turkey, we're not going to have huge differences in how this is produced and bottled and sent out.
No, I think my suspicion is that the 17-year, the reason it's not bottled and bond, besides the proof, is they probably didn't focus as heavily on, when these grains were produced and whether or not they had the same distiller. You can blend a couple of different 17-year whiskeys to create the Wild Turkey 17-year that you can't do that with the bottled and bond.
So with the bottled and bond, it's what? It has to be the same distiller? Is that right?
Yeah, so the bottled and bond has to be grains grown, do the same...
same season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to be grains from the same season, distilled by the same distiller at the same distillery, and then it has to be at least 4 years. It has to be 100 proof
So is this
bottling.
Eddie Russell?
Yes, that would probably be Eddie Russell.
Okay. I mean, Jimmy's is Jimmy still the head?
Well, he hasn't been doing it
master.
for 17 years. Eddie hasn't been doing this for 17 years.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. So if Eddie is the master distiller now, did this 17-year have to be started when Eddie was the master distiller? Jimmy is the
Who
dad.
is the current master distiller?
Eddie.
Eddie?
And how long has Eddie been the master distiller?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you. You're the drink pro.
Let's go ahead and taste it.
Oh, fuck me, right?
Much woodier.
Mm-hmm.
Very woody.
Ooh, and even going back to the nose,
Oh, it's just
that
like
wood is very prominent now for me.
it's like an oak stave in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's all wood. It's
Yeah.
It
all
reminds me of a
All
long-aged Knob Creek pick. You get a lot of oak on it.
It's a little less sweet though.
Right.
A lot of times the Knob Creek for me, I get brown sugar up front and then oak on the back.
Mm.
This to me, that brown sugar is replaced by a honey. It's a softer sweetness on the front and then all that oakiness. And it may be even a little bit more astringent. The wood might be even a little sharper than a Knob Creek.
Finish
Yeah.
is a little stronger.
Yes.
You get a little bit more of the proof.
Yes.
It's crazy how after you sip it, go back to it, and there's really nothing more but wood. It's just
Yeah.
wood for me.
This shows you what 17 years in a barrel can do to a whiskey.
It's purely wood.
And see, maybe that's my problem. Maybe I like the Wild Turkey 17 without the bottled and bond because I felt like it was an anomaly.
Yeah.
Like being able to get this profile out of 17 years in a barrel where it's floral and sweet and herbal instead of just all woody barrel tannin was really interesting and engaging to me. It was unique. And so I kind of expected the
Go back
woodiness.
to the 17. The nose is nougaty, toffee,
Yes, I agree.
butterscotch.
I agree.
That floral's a little bit dissipated.
But it's the sweetness is still
yeah,
definitely
right,
there.
right. But it's more from just floral sweetness to like a little more honey, a little more toffee, a little more nougat.
Right.
And that's crazy actually how much these have changed from when you tasted them. That's wow.
I do like the nose on the 17 better. No, I went back to it.
Which
When I-
one? The bottle and bond?
No, just
The
the
regular
regular
17.
17.
When I taste the regular 17 also, after tasting the bottled and bond, it's not as floral, it's not as herbal. I get a sort of vein of sweetness that runs through the whole thing that's just absent from the bottled and bond.
Yeah, the bottle and bond is wood. It's dusty wood. There's maybe a little bit of honey, maybe.
I get a little bit of fruit on the 17. I get lots of this sweet herb. It's really a tasty pour. Oh shit, here we go.
I really enjoy.
I'm doing it for science. I'm doing it for you, people.
After having them both, the higher proof bottle and bond, I really enjoy it more.
Do you?
Yep, I really do. Just the woody profile. I like Knob Creek, but the 17 is very good. I mean, it's really good.
It's more delicate. It really is though.
I don't know whether what the price of the two is, whether it's worth the 17 bottle and bond compared to the 17, but for me, I like the 17 bottle and bond a little bit better. Just for the oakiness, but
I'm pretty firmly in the 17 camp myself.
Yeah.
Because I do like an oaky flavor, but Trevor, you tend to prefer the heavier, bigger oaky flavors, right?
Yep.
See, I tend to prefer, if I like an oaky flavor, it has to be very well balanced. It has to be very gentle. I don't really err towards those, chewing on a barrel state. But to me, the 17 does that very well. It's a really good presentation of that deep oaky flavor. It's just not really what I look for in most of my whiskeys.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a good whiskey.
Yes, absolutely.
Very good. It's smooth. It's very drinkable, but it's kind of one-noted, and that one note for me is not what I like.
Thank you all for joining. I hope you learned something. It was an interesting experiment to the 17 next to the bottled and bond 17. It was kind of what I expected it to be honest with you, but I'm glad I did it because you can never really be certain when you don't do them next to each other. There's so many factors that go into your palate and your nose and how you taste things, especially because when Nate and I did that first run through of all those Wild Turkey products, we did them back to back to back to back to back. We did them outside. We did them in a very different environment. So having them brought back here yet again to do a second tasting and then comparing them to something else that I've already done a tasting of, really cool. I'm glad you guys suggested it. I wouldn't have done it without that suggestion, so I appreciate it. Thank you. Please, if you have more suggestions, let me know. You can reach out to me on any social media platform. You can reach out to me on Patreon, The Drink Pro. Wherever you look, The Drink Pro, that's me. Website is coming soon, by the way. I just bought thedrinkpro.com. Not up yet, but it's going to be, so just keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you, Nate, both for being here. You guys keep drinking like professionals. We're going to go party. Cheers.
Cheers.
go Bucks.